Yeah, if you don't get it together, I was literally, yo, bro, I was literally salute. Keffe D, he's listening to these podcasters on his team. He has a team of YouTubers, and they're gonna let that ninja do 25 to life, bro, for Tupac and Biggie. I was trying to get some audio for y'all, but a little technical difficulty. Don't puff for the replay. Yes, salute. So it's the 4th of July weekend, and this weekend it makes 30 years, like I was saying, that Fatal Hussein Fatal, one of the Tupac outlaw members, one of the generals, his gun was taken from him during an event at the House of Blues out there in California on September 7th. It was alleged that the gun that was taken from Hussein Fatal was used in the drive-by attack that led Tupac get shot. Now, again, will this all come out at trial? I don't think so. I don't think Michael Sam has what it takes. I don't think he has the team. I don't think he has the the information and the insight of this whole Vegas case to execute what we would say that, look, let's just start with the murder weapon. This gun was taken from one of Tupac Outlaw members, and the same gun that's been missing throughout the whole story that was alleged used, Suge Knight and his security guard disposed of it. If they're not bringing this up in trial, we don't have a trial. It's bad alone. It's bad enough we don't have a murder weapon. It's horrible enough that there's no murder weapon. But if they're not bringing this up in trial, that the missing murder weapon through Suge Knight and his security guard, Reggie Wright Jr., if they're not bringing it up, we're not even talking about the money that's missing. Hold on, do I have... Salute. Yeah, if they're not bringing up the fact that this murder weapon was disposed of through Suge Knight and his security, they don't have a real trial. I think this is a this trial is a mockery of the whole case. This trial and the information that they have in the discovery is a joke. If they waited until Greg Hayden throw in 97 boxes of what he had left and whatever he did and took out what Hayden did, Greg Bacon, the 97 boxes that he had, right? If it don't consist of the Russell Poole files where Russell was saying, Suge Knight and Reggie Wright, common denominators, right? What happened? what happened for real? Why isn't those boxes with the real info from the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I believe if they don't have a lot of that first info, what Russell Poole lay down, it's a mockery. Straight up and down. Do I got that? Yo, how the hell you wake up in this missing fucking files and shit? Shit is weird. All right, we could just put this. Salute. If you just tap in, a little technical difficulty starting this live show. It happens. YouTube business is like show business now. His airness, what's going on? Boxers should be in evidence. Yeah, a lot of these. Again, Keefe is going to get sentenced to 25 to life, or he's going to get a heavy sentence. I believe so. He's listening to his YouTube friends, RJ Pork Shoulder, the itchy YouTuber Choke, Michael Carlin. He has a team of YouTubers that's that they not. You again, RJ Pork Shoulder, RJ Bond. The info that he got and the info that he received is totally different. The info that RJ Pork Shoulder got, that he's been, promoting, is the same info that he's been putting in his documentaries to make his documentaries. But what about this theories that we've been saying? Like, wait a minute, that's not Orlando Anderson. That wasn't Keffe D's nephew. Right? Why was Suge involved with a bribe? How is RJ Bond? How is he good friends with Keefe, and RJ is good friends with Mopreme? How is RJ good friends with Keefe and good friends with Mopreme? All in the same, all in the same trial. It's a mockery. It's a disrespect to Pac fans who's been patiently waiting. Pac fans has been waiting for the truth. The discovery for RJ Bond to be friends with Keefe and friends with Mopreme. Like, come on. Somebody got to sit back and think, is this for real? Somebody got to sit back and say, wait a minute, is this really happening? Is this is where we come to? Phil Carson too, man. Phil Carson, he definitely turned a blind eye. Phil Carson, he made no arrest. Wrench Gang, his airness. You brought up Phil Carson. You gotta remember, this ninja made zero arrests. Okay, can I put him on the freaking screen, Phil Carson? Right, bro. How are you the federale on the case? This guy right here. How are you the federale and you made zero arrests, bro? Is this for real? This guy, with all the proof that he has that officers was tampering with the witnesses and officers was tampering with the evidence, right? With all this details this guy has, right? You mean to tell me zero arrest has been made? Bro, that's the corruption right there. That's where we at with the culture. That an officer, a federale like Phil Carson, could have all this proof and evidence of officers that was tampering with evidence, officers in the LAPD and Compton. And he probably got it in Vegas too, because I'm pretty sure there's some Vegas cops that was interfering with the case. Right? How do we know on the YouTube world, how do we know that Reggie Wright Jr. and Suge Knight got rid of the alleged murder weapon that was owned by Hussein Fatal, right? How do we know that? Bill Carson, he had he had his affiliate Kevin Hackey, the first whistleblower wearing a wire, right? Kevin Hackey was giving the federales play-by-play what was going on anyway. It's annoying with your flip-flops. Yeah, right? Can we be for real? Like, seriously, can we be for real? Kevin Hackey was giving the federales play-by-play what was going on in death row. So everything Kevin Hackey was reporting back to the federales and some, Bill Carson had firsthand ideas, right? And made zero arrests. Right? And that's the type of shit that we're talking about with the case. Right? How these scumbags, they don't do their job, first of all, right? They didn't do a diligent job. Because if that's the case, when it came down to the missing gun, right? When it came down to this missing firearm, and how did the feds turn a blind eye even after they retired was bizarre. This guy Reggie, he was able to not only get rid of the gun with Suge Knight, but he was able to confess. That's right. He confessed on Security Guard Vlad channel that he got rid of the gun. How was that even possible? Can we just start with that? So yeah, Keffe D getting a fair trial, or Keffe D, he keep listening to his YouTube friends that he, we're like the only channel that says, hey, there is no 13 on that dude that they said is Orlando. We're like the only channel that's saying, hey, take a close look at the guy they are jumping. We're saying, look at the guy they jumping, right? Look at him. Take a great look at him. No puff on the replay. And we're saying, look at the fight. Look at the guy they allege that is Orlando. Look at his outfit. That's what we're saying. How did that 13 just mysteriously jump off the football jersey during the squabble? That's what we were saying. You know what I'm saying? And we believe it's this guy that they was really, putting hands and feet on. But again, Keffe D, he has these YouTubers that's in his circle, and these attorneys that he has, I don't know, was Michael Shanft. I don't know what's his angle, to be more direct. I really don't get it. But for Michael Shanft to waste all that time trying to throw out evidence of the book, can I be for real, y'all? If they get rid of that book, they're trying to cover for the cops. Somebody please print that in the chat. Please, this is serious stuff. If you fuck with discretion, especially this new season, Discretion 304 TV, listen to me. I'm not trying to lead anybody that follow my channel the wrong way. Can I break this down into the decimal points it needed to be breaking down to? Right? This Ninja Noble. What did you do, Noble? Why you still have a GoFundMe up? Right? Can we just be for real? I just want y'all to know how serious this is. Right? Sam said he was asked to take the case. Can we just be for real? Keffe D, if he gets the book thrown out, which was a dumb idea, that covers the cops. Remember, in his book, his tell-all, allegedly that he claims he didn't write, he wrote about those crooked cops. Whose idea was it to get rid of the book? In his own book, he said, yo, Compton's crooked as Reynolds. I don't know what type of I don't know what type of time they think we on, but we were focused. In Keffe D's book, he said, listen, Compton's crookedest cop, Sergeant Reynolds, right? In his book, Keffe D was exposing the crooked cops. You can't throw that book out. Why would you throw that book out? Bro, in his same book, he said Compton's crookedest, right? And I didn't even read that book yet. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't a Keffe D fan, right? The only Pac haters got that book. A ninja that hate Pac will buy that book and skinny, the skinny guy. Sorry for that, but I can't believe what's going on in the chat. Sam said, what Nigel said? He's listening to Carpethead too much. And yo, I'm telling you, Nigel, never followed up on a lie detector test on veggie. 21 good salute. Nigel, what's good? Yeah, man. As we approach rebuilding discretion and discretion 304 TV, as we take a different approach, rebuilding the brand, we just analyzing the facts of what's in front of us without the hocus pocus. And Keffe D listening to these YouTubers and his boy RJ Barn and Choke on Coke and all these ninjas that think they got it figured out. He's gonna serve 25 to life for Tupac and Biggie. When they had the angle, he changed his whole defense, right? He changed his whole defense, and he's trying to get why would you get the book thrown out? The book is gonna help you win. Ninja Compton's cricketers, you said. Sergeant Reynolds. He said Reggie Rice Sr. in his same book, right? If I'm not mistaken, the book said, listen, Reggie Sr., not Jr., jumped out and said, hey, Keffe D, you kill my son, it's going to be war, right? So a lot of the evidence is in the book. Whose idea was it to try to throw out the book? It doesn't make sense. Keffe D can use the book as his alibi that he didn't write what was in that book. All Keffe D, like the part with Big Meech, drop comments below. Like the part with Big Meech, right? With Big Meech, the Big Meech theory, Keffe D throws it out. There's a lot of Pac fans that believe it. Bro, I don't know if Big Meech was home in 96, but a lot of Pac fans that said, nah, that ninja Big Meech was involved, right? So even with that part of the book, he can the allegations that the book has true testimony of the shooting. Drop comments below, right? So again, whoever idea of throwing out the book out of the discovery, it was a waste of time. He should have put more energy into getting the rest of the cricket cops. He changed the whole perspective of the defense, and his new defense. I don't even know his angle. What is the angle? He wasn't there. That's not a good angle, right? That's good to bring up, right? But that's not a great approach of trying to get acquitted of these charges and actually have a jury say, nah, we believe and find the this ninja Duane not guilty. I believe that, look, eventually is going to catch up to him. And thanks to those YouTubers on his team, thanks to those YouTubers on his squad, I believe he's gonna have to like sit. He got these YouTubers that I've never seen this. Like, bro, you're facing 25 to life, and you working with YouTubers. Like, who the fuck does that? Ninja, you're facing the L. You got a L in front of your fucking sentencing, and you're trusting carpet head. This can we be for real, bro? You're trusting carpet head RJ and the itchy YouTuber. Oh shit, the overnight Pac fan. Oh shit, you're gonna do life, bro. I'm sorry, bro. You're gonna do life, bro. Because look at their defense. Get the book thrown out. Hey, what's up, Primo? All right. Yeah, you right. Look at his defense. Let's get the book thrown out. What angle is that? That was the dumbest angle, right? Um, he has, according to what these court documents are saying, the judge is going to decide if anything else can be thrown out besides her denial of the book not being thrown out. She has other motions to decide whether or not those motions will be accepted and he can get more of whatever is being used against him to hang him. Again, Keefe, his whole Keefe's energy changed when the whole momentum changed when he stopped talking about the cops. Bro, they don't want to hear nothing else besides the cricket cops, Keefe. Bro, this is it's insanity. Bro, I keep on saying it. When he was talking about the cricket cops, that's when the cameras was in his face. They was checking on him. They was taking him out his cell, buying him chicken. Right? Bro, when they bro, when Keefe was talking about the crooked cops, Reggie Wright Jr., your key witness is your main suspect. He told Cam Capone that. He said, yo, it's funny how, Compton PD, I think he told Vlad too. He said, listen, how they got the cops, LAPD and Compton, a part of the investigation, doing an investigation, and they're the suspects. He was very vocal, right? Even before the handcuffs, he was saying it's like, look, how y'all got these ninjas, right? He was saying your key witness is your main suspect. He was saying this. As soon as he stopped, again, that's why I don't trust his new attorneys. I don't trust nobody in his circle. It changed from your key witness is your main suspect to, oh, let's get the book thrown out. Oh, I wasn't there in Vegas. Come on, knock it off, B. You feel me? Drop comments below. How did your defense change from your key witness is your main suspect, right? Is the orchestrator. How did it go from that to, okay, let's get the book thrown out? Okay, I wasn't even there in Vegas. They can't put me in, right? Like, come on. So I definitely believe that Keefe listening to his YouTube friends, it was never a great idea from the beginning. And then I blame his son. Yeah, Keefe, his son, Duane Davis Jr., he's not too bright. He's not the brightest star in the room. He's not the smartest. He's not the brightest apple in the bunch, right? This ninja, Dwayne Davis Jr. I don't even know. I can't call it for Keffe D's son to be a product of this new generation. It's pathetic. It's sad. Like he don't have YouTube or something. Like what y'all talking about in the chat? 21 good salute. Um, like father, like son is earnest. What's good? I bet Keefe bought Neckbone's ticket for the fight. Crazy. His lawyer needs to get the MGM footage and look exactly. What else y'all talking about? Salute to y'all. This lawyer clown trying to get the book thrown out. Yeah, that was the dumb move, bro. Because I know without even reading the book, he was talking about the crooked cops. He's calling them crooked in the book. Bro, as soon as he changed his whole defense, and I don't know I think that was RJ Porkshoulder. I believe that's RJ Porkshoulder, carpet face, carpet head. I believe that's his tactic, right? He changed, everything changed from the crooked cops to I wasn't there in Vegas. Oh, they can't put me in Vegas. Ninja, they your own crew put you in Vegas. Okay? Your own mans and them put you in Vegas. What do you mean you wasn't in Vegas when the whole Southside Crip put you in fucking Vegas? That was the dumb idea, but hey, it happened. Um, in that book, I wonder if you own the book. I don't know. This is the new discretion. Maybe people from the first season, they probably had the maybe people from the first season they had copies of Keefe's book, and they can let me know how many times did he speak about the crooked cops. But I'm pretty sure, right, that he spoke about them crooked cops more than twice. For him I remember that stuck in my head. No puff on the replay that he said Compton's crooked is Sergeant Reynolds, right? So let's see. Yeah, keep listening to YouTubers, bro. You're gonna do fucking life. This ninja is the first OG gangbanger. He's the first OG gangbanger that in life in jail. Ninja, you're facing life. You acting like you're gonna do 90 days. Like you're gonna do 12 months. You're facing life in prison, bro. Okay? Or the amount of years is gonna seem like life, ninja. And you're trusting YouTubers to get acquitted. You trust in Carpethead. You trust in a snitch, no joke, that got a ninja 25 to life. And this ninja Johnny, what's his name? The ninja that choked got life. Johnny Burton, right? He choke gave him life. He's still looking for choke. Choke got that ninja 25 years. He's still looking for this ninja, right? Keefe trusting these ninjas, bro. That's not intelligent at all, bro. You got RJ Porkshoulder, the guy that said the N word. RJ can't wait to say the N word again. He's just looking for any reason. Yeah, you got a guy named RJ Porkshoulder. Can I get him on the screen? Can I get this guy? There you go. You got a YouTuber who can't wait to say the N-word again. He's just feeding to say the N-word. And RJ, are you ready to say the N-word today? Let's get it over with, bro. He can't wait to say the N-word again, right? RJ Pork Shoulder, right? And, you know, Kevin Hackey, this picture is like one of the most pictures ever. Because here you have a guy, Kevin Hackey, first whistleblower, right? That allegedly was protecting guy in the Aladdin Hotel, and they lied and say he was in the UMC kicking up dust. You know, here you have a guy, the first whistleblower, who I would again. Kevin Hackey is a crooked cop to me. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I was never a fan of Kevin Hackey. Any cop that get caught with 17 AR, he got AR-15 assault rifles in his back of his trunk, like right, that's ridiculous. Who's trusting this cop, right? So this guy, Kevin Hackey, right, who challenged Reggie to a polygraph test only to be friends with Reggie 30 years later. Only to, when Reggie is ready, Reggie can contact Kevin Hackey and say, hey, listen, what is this about this guy interviewing you? Or, what is this? Like, right? Kevin Hackey, he not only he's a turncoat to the police and the badge that he was under, he's a turncoat to anybody in these streets that trust him. Because it's weird that we got hood ninjas or ninjas from the hood that they will support Kevin Hackey, or they look up to Kevin Hackey, or they'll believe anything a Kevin Hackey would say, right? When it's obvious that he's friend or foe, and he's still cool with Reggie Wright Jr. All that's what kind of guy Kevin Hackey is, right? Kevin Hackey was the type of guy to challenge Reggie and say, hey, if I see Reggie right now, we're gonna have a shootout. Only to be friends with Reggie 30 years later, and it's like, come on. So, back to Carpet Face. Again, if you just tapping in, we're talking about Keffe D trusting his YouTube friends and working with his YouTube friends is going to give him life in fucking jail. Right? And one of his YouTube friends is this guy, RJ Pork Shoulder, who, again, RJ, how are you friends with Keffe D? And how are you friends with Mopreme? How are you trying to make Mopreme and Keffe D hug at the next barbecue? Drop comments below. That's what type of ninja RJ Pork Shoulder, aka Carpet Face, Carpet Head. That's what type of guy he is. He wants Mopreme and Keffe D to hug it out. After Keffe D said Pac was breakdancing. Is Tupac Shakur breakdancing now, Keefe? Is he breakdancing now? Is it funny now that the rest of your life you're going to have to spend in jail? Is it funny? Is Tupac breakdancing now? Is he breakdancing? You're going to spend the rest of your life in jail, and these guys that's in your corner, they're not even going to send you a fucking package, a fucking care package. You hear me? It's Tupac Shakur breakdancing now. That's what we asking. It's funny, right? Here you have a guy, right? RJ Carpet Face, right? That lied to Hot 97 and said, hey, listen, before the detective died, he gave me all his files. That was a lie. Carpet Face, that was a lie, bro. Why would you lie like that? Especially you came all the way to New York to lie to us and say, hey, before Russell Poole died, he gave me all his case files. What do you mean? What do he mean by that? Bro, when did Russell Poole have time to give RJ corporate face case files? All we know is Michael Carlin. Can we get? There you go. Here's the douche face. That's the douche face. Douche face Michael Carlin and douche face RJ Pork Shoulder. There you go. The two douche faces. All we know, right? Because yeah, he is a douche face. Michael Carlin, yeah, he is. Because first he edited out the Suge Knight interview that he interviewed Suge Knight after Russell Poole died, right? Michael Carlin, and after he interviewed Suge and edited out the video, right? He First of all, these were the guys that sent lead detective Russell Poole. Can we get Russell? There you go, Russell Poole. So the lead detective Russell Poole, his first discoveries, his first findings, he was saying, listen, according to Poole, Poole said, listen, I believe Suge Knight and Reggie Wright Jr. were involved with the orchestration of Tupac, and he was correct. I believe he was dead on point. Whoever changed his perspective, whoever changed Russell Poole's mind, whoever, they are foul for that. They're the ones who are down with the conspiracy because Poole was correct. I believe so. The only way that shooting could have went down September 7th, the way it went, Suge didn't have no urgency. Suge Knight ain't have no urgency to move this BMW until the job was done. When Suge tells the story, he said, listen, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. What, ninja? They just pumped 17 shots up in your car door. I'm talking about the Suge Knight Nation. They just pumped 17 shots in your door. And that's your reply? That's your response? I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. Well, Henny, you celebrate, ninja. Suge Knight said, oh, nobody came to help us. That's how you know it's a cover-up. And Suge was down with the conspiracy. Nobody came to help us. Here we go with the violin stories. Grown-ass man. Suge is a grown-ass fucking man. Okay? And for 30 years later, for him to still be playing this violin story, it's pathetic and sad. Get the likes up. Why we can't get more likes? Can we get more likes up? If you just tapping in Keffe D, he keep listening to his YouTube friends, and he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Keffe D, him and his YouTube friends, they was trying to get the book Compton Street Legend thrown out. For what? Why would you get a book that he's exposing who the crooked cops was? He's saying Compton's most crookedest cops. Yeah, you keep listening to your YouTube friends, Ninja. You're going to spend the rest of your life in jail for Tupac and Biggie. You hear me? For Pac and Big. Because the 4,000 pages in case files is Keefe is in a horrible spot. Because when security guard Vlad said, listen, according to security guard Vlad, he said, listen, when he told Keffe D that, look, Reggie Wright Jr. called the cops. No, Reggie Wright Jr. said Las Vegas PD got in contact with him and they're going to arrest you for the murder of Tupac. And he said, oh, yeah? Why they keep calling this crooked cop and telling him anything? All right? And then further along, he said, listen, if I go to jail for Pac, handcuff him next to me for Biggie because I know he had his hands involved. Again, the only way somebody can implicate another man in a shooting, like in that manner, especially when it comes to Pac and Big, unless he was really down with them. And I believe When I say down with them, he was down with the Tupac shooting, Keffe D, and he was down with the Biggie. For some reason, it's just difficult for me to believe he's totally innocent, especially with a comment like that. Is that your first reaction? Again, I said it before. A lot of these ninjas on YouTube, they need PRs and attorneys to ask them, is that okay for me to say before I say it? Why would that be your first reply if you ain't had total knowledge of the Biggie and Tupac shooting? But, again, just the basic outline of this whole case, why would Suge Knight take a bribe? Oh no, why would Suge Knight offer a bribe? Why would Suge Knight be a part of a bribe? And we don't know the details of the 60K exchange. A lot of y'all chatting on internet. I'm talking about these YouTubers. They chatting on internet, and I've always kept an open mind about the 60K exchange. You wasn't there. I wasn't there, right? Orlando Anderson is dead. Sugar's a liar, right? Reggie Wright Jr. said he was there, and he's a liar, right? So we don't know the full details of the 60K exchange, right? But what we do know is when Keefe tells the story about the 60K exchange, it's never the same story. Yeah, when Keefe talks about the 60K exchange, yeah, he tells that, Suge, Lane told me bring two guns and come through, But when Keefe tells the story, he said, yeah, I think one time, I don't know if it was a slip up, but he was like, yeah, say Lane ain't kicked the dude. What? Drop comments below. You're a real Pac fan. You know I'm not talking. I'm not capping. Keffe D, when one of the times he talked about the 60K exchange, he said, yeah, they pay Lane to say Lane ain't kicked the dude. What? Like, come on, B. Right? He's like, yo, they pay Lane out. What did the Keffe D? He said they pay Lane out to say he ain't kicked the dude. Yo, Dawn Bucks are plenty. What's good? Yo, what's going on, gang? Yo, man. I'm living proof you could be touched. You hear me? Pac made the song, Young Ninja's Life, criminal mind of a juvenile, still living child life. Thinking he could make us two in a rush. Ninjas better slow down. You could be touched. Young ninjas in the wildlife, criminal mind of a juvenile, still living child life. You hear me? They still living a pig life. Right? Yo, you could be touched out here, man. It's what you do. No puff on the replay. It's what you do after you've been touched that makes you the man you are. It doesn't matter. And if you just tapping in, we're talking about Keffe D and his YouTube friends. And I believe these ninjas on his team is going to, these ninjas on his team is going to make him do life. These ninjas on his team, they don't care about a lot of these people with a narrative. They will rather say they see a 13 on a guy they jumping than to actually say, you know what? This ninja discretion was right. Yo, the homie discretion was correct. That's not Orlando. They jumping. Do you know how far we would be with the culture? If we can, if that's what I'm saying. Dwayne Davis' son is Dwayne Davis Jr. He's an idiot. There's no way, bro. Bro, the internet is saying that's not your cousin. Drop comments below. Right? Ain't they cousins? Dwayne Davis Jr. Can I get him on the screen? Yeah, Dwayne Davis Jr. This guy right here, he's the biggest idiot in this generation. In today's generation, this guy right here, Keffe D's son, is the biggest idiot I've ever came across. And this is one of the best generations of all time. This generation we living in is the greatest generation of all time. For for this guy, bro, we saying that's not your cousin. Oh my gosh. Yo, bro, we're saying it. We for decades, years. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it, bro. Yo, we're saying that's not your cousin. Yeah, nah, Joe. Apple don't fall far from the tree, bro. You think my father could be facing 25 to life, and I'm not trying to find every reason of him out, and then you come across a video that's a no 13 on Orlando, or your ears is not to the YouTube streets that you don't see that video. Accountable. I'm talking about Duane Davis Jr. If you seen Orlando no 13 on Orlando video, I'm gonna hold you accountable. And if you didn't see the video no 13 on Orlando, I'm gonna still hold you accountable. You're today's generation. You're a representative of today's world, bro. I'm an OG. I'm a 70s baby. You hear me? I'm a 70s baby, right? But this new generation, this ninjas was just born in the 2020 something. This nigga was born the year the World Trade Center fell, right? Right? Like, come on. You mean to tell me, right? You mean to tell me that your Keffe D's son and the internet has been giving you solid facts that, bro, that's not even your cousin, right? And then you convince your father to get rid of the only attorney that was gonna help him not do 25 to life, Carl Arnold. Why would you do that? Why would you? That's how gullible his son is. You have to raise your sons to be stronger than you are. You hear me? Bro, you have to raise your son to be stronger than you are. You have to raise your son to be the warrior you was never able to be. You hear me? 21 gun salute. If you just tap it in, we're talking about Keffe D. Listening to these YouTubers is going to give him 25 to life. You know, he has these YouTubers in his corner that are pathetic. They out for just doing documentaries, clout. You know, I've never seen. This is how I know ninjas ain't real Pac fans, right? Even though I don't think Keefe was in a car with the shooters, you won't see me side by side riding shotgun with Keffe D. Keffe D said Tupac was breakdancing, was getting shot. Okay? That's like you go into somebody's store and be very disrespectful. Oh, y'all don't got size 11? Oh, no puff on the replay. Oh, y'all don't got size. You don't got my size. You want me to ask and call stores around that we affiliated with to get your size Jordans? Get the fuck out of here. You better get out of my store. You hear me? These ninjas was disrespectful, and it was okay for Keefe to say Tupac was breakdancing. That's what kind of Tupac fans these ninjas are. That it's okay for Keefe D to say, yeah, Pac was breakdancing. That's what type of nation Pac was dealing with. That, oh, despite what Keefe D say, free him. No, the fuck not. No. Yeah, it doesn't matter what Keefe. No, you're not hearing that from my channel. I'm asking Duane Davis Jr. Is Tupac breakdancing now? You're your father's protege. Yo, your father raised you. So I'm asking you, since your father's facing life in jail now, I'm asking you, is Tupac breakdancing now? Yeah, free Keffe D for what? When he got his hands involved with Biggie. And I'm not even a Biggie fan. All right, Pac ain't want Biggie dead. Bro, Pac ain't never said he wanted Biggie dead, right? He didn't. We ain't asked y'all to do nothing like that. Yeah, free Keffe D for what? He was very disrespectful. Yeah, it's Pac breakdancing now. If you just tapping in, I want to thank you for your tapping. It's Friday. May God continue to take the wheel and cover y'all. Like, seriously, it's the 4th of July weekend. Y'all got to be extra safe out there because, buck season. It's buck season. Y'all better be careful. Stay out the way. Go to another town. You know you got ops. It's buck season. You know. Yeah, but on the Tupac side of things, we know 30 years ago, Hussein Fatal went to club House of Blues, went to the House of Blues, and he tried to get a gun in. And 30 years ago, Hussein Fatal was apprehended by a few of Reggie Boys or the Santa Monica Division or officers that was affiliated, off-duty officers that was affiliated with Santa Monica Division. And 30 years later, we're still saying, look, that gun that they took away from Hussein Fatal, rest in peace, Hussein Fatal. That gun that they took away from Hussein Fatal 30 years later, we're saying, look, that was possibly the gun that shot Pac, right? And when you do a further deep dive, we're saying, look, the same gun, Suge Knight and his security got rid of it, right? So what we're saying is, on top of that, we spoke about the federales. Oh, the feds knew. This ninja Michael calling dirtbag. Feds knew if Kevin Hackey, the first whistleblower, right? If Hackey knew about the gun when he was challenging Reggie that they threw the gun in the ocean, knew. All I'm saying, y'all, the FBI knew. It's not rocket science. If a wire wearing cricket cop was working for the feds with a wire, right? Kevin Hackey, if he's a wire wearing off duty cop and he's saying, look, he's challenged. That's why I'm saying I don't trust Suge. Because when they was challenging Reggie with a gun, right? Where this guy at? When Kevin Hackey, Tupac's bodyguard, was challenging Reggie Wright Jr. about the gun, and they was on Fox 5 and All Hip Hop. Even All Hip Hop, I don't trust them. They good friends with R.J. Porkshoulder, and All Hip Hop. There's some Benedict Arnold's type of channel. Even when Kevin Hackey was challenging was challenging Reggie Wright about the gun. Suge knew already. Remember, Suge was on the same program with Fox 5 and said, oh, no, nobody in their right mind will believe I had anything to do with Tupac getting shot. But wait a minute, Suge. This is a 40 caliber topic. What do you mean? Suge, you was right there when Reggie threw the gun away. What happened? Suge, what do you mean? That's why I never let that go too far from my mind. And when I when I do a little deep dive to that, it makes me believe that Suge is never to be trusted because Even in this new era, even in modern day times, Suge never said, you know, I witnessed Reggie throw out his service pistol or a gun in the Bahamas Ocean. No, Suge tries to bury it. Suge told us everything under the sun about Reggie Wright Jr. He told us everything. I talked about this before. Suge told us everything about that man, but never told us he was with Reg when he got rid of the 40 caliber handgun. And the first whistleblower, Kevin Hackey, knew about this gun being thrown in the Bahamas Ocean, right? And I believe he reported to the feds. If Kevin Hackey knew, Bill Carson knew about this gun. Comments below. Again, I ask y'all, if Bill Carson was FBI, why he never made no arrest in the two days? With all the proof and evidence that's out there, right? Bill Carson never made an arrest. Why? Why did you join? Why did you join the FBI for? What was your reason for joining the FBI? Drop comments below. Why would somebody join the FBI and don't make FBI arrests? You're not making no federal arrest. Here you have two of America's in the whole world, practically 30 years later, right? Here you have two of the biggest artists, biggest names in the world, right? And this guy has not made an arrest yet. Come on, bro. Oh my gosh. You didn't make no arrest, bro? So why you on the FBI force? Like, yo, Bill Carson, I think you need to put down the pills, right? And like seriously, like go in rehab. They try to tell them go into rehab. And they're like, no, no, no. No, seriously. Put down the pills, go to rehab, check in, leave the pills alone, right? I swear, you can do it, Pill. Pill Carson, you can do it. You can wake up and look at life different, bro. Bro, 30 years later, the fella Raleigh ain't make no arrest. Even after Kevin Hackey reported back to him about the gun. Oh, shit. This is funny to me. Right? It's really sad. It's just nonsense. If you just tapping in. Keffe D, he keep listening to his YouTube friends, his YouTube attorneys. Oh, snap. Yo, Keefe, you might as well apply for AI attorneys. Listening to YouTube attorneys, one, J. Pork Shoulder, he's not even a real journalist. He probably lied and was some kind of journalist. Who knows, right? The other one, the itchy YouTuber, he used to eat paint chips, right, off the project walls in Eden Wall, eating project paint chips. You see the results, right? That guy, I don't know what gangbanger will be around him. Mopreme, when Mopreme sat, somebody said Mopreme sniffed coke. So, two cokeheads together, of course, You can't even tell about... Yo. He's saying this, right? That's why your man about to do life. Because his circle, his team is clowns. Bro, you're facing 25 to life. And your son sees all this proof on the internet and he ain't... And then boom. You see, if your son ain't tell dad, that's not Orlando. Remember, Keffe D's son, that's Orlando Anderson's cousin. And Discretion, the first season, that been out with almost 9 years. If he wants me to believe his father was almost down with almost 3 years, and your father, it was said that his nephew, there was no 13 on the guy that was jumping, and it's not his nephew, which is your cousin. If you want me to believe You ain't see that before they shot down that channel? That's crazy. Yeah, bro. Yo, bro, seriously? Seriously, like, is this for real? That video was up, and a couple of them videos, the No 13 Orlando theory, right? Bro, those theories, that been up for ages. He should have already knew that. That's what I'm saying. He's not too bright. I'm talking about Keffe D's son. He's not too bright, bro. He's not savvy. SAVY, savvy. He's not savvy at all, bro. He's not, bro. That should have been automatic. Like, oh snap, nah. You know what I mean? Like that. Again, Keefe changed his whole defense approach, and ever since Keefe changed his defense for the case, it's been taking a downfall. Bro, name me one motion that was granted by the judge. Can anybody name me one? Not two. I'm just saying one. Tell me one motion that the judge granted for Keefe D. He didn't get bail. Whack no 100. He didn't get him bail. Right? He never got bailed. Whack 100 was trying to bail him. He couldn't prove the money. Everything he did with that bail package, that bail application, was denied. Then he tried to, the 4,000 boxes, I think. He's trying to get it dismissed, or that didn't work. Then remember the 4,000 boxes or the 4,000 documents? He said, Your Honor, those documents should not be allowed in your court. Greg Bacon had them under his basement. Greg Bacon had them in the attic. Greg Bacon had them under the sink. Those file boxes should not. The judge still let it ride, right? That's he's been taking L's. Keep listening to your YouTube team, bro. You've been taking L's ever since you've been in jail, bro. Even with the fade you fought. Right? We got a chance to finally see you shoot a fade, and that's the results. What? Your Keffe D, bro, you was supposed to make that ninja know. Even if you've had to bite his eyeball out, no puff on the replay. Bro, even if Keefe will had to go like a pit bull on him, right? Because you don't got no weapons, you're in jail, right? Well, you gotta draw blood somehow, man. Bite his nose off, right? Bite his nose off. I'm telling you, if Keefe had bit that guy's nose off, we would have been talking a different language, right? The ninja been taking L's ever since he's been in custody, B. And you see, the thing is, with Keffe D and these L's he's taking, you can tell he's gonna take another L, bro. With the L's he's been taking so far, right? You can tell how this trial is gonna go. It's not gonna even be a hung jury. Not even a hung jury, bro. You know how some trials, they be like, Your Honor, we got a hung jury. They can't get a decision. I don't even see that happening for dude. Yo, Naja, the ninja should have bit that ninja nose off. You mean I'm walking down a corridor hall with a guard and you got your shirt off? Like, what? I mean, Rikers Island raised me different, bro. You see a ninja in the friggin' halls, he's not in his cell. You see him in the halls with his shirt off? Oh, nah. Nah, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he should have bit his ear off, bro. Like seriously, right? But hey, again, since he's been in custody, this ninja been taking L's left and right. He's right. He didn't get in his new L, the getting the book thrown out, which was dumb. A lot of his L's is unnecessary, bro. Oh, don't forget, he was trying to get the evidence that. Remember, give me some thumbs up if you remember. Remember when they they searched his house and he was trying to get that evidence thrown out? He was like, "Oh, suppress the evidence they found in my house." Whoa, for what? If you're innocent, somebody. I've been again the first season of discretion. We was on their neck. Again, somebody got to say, look, if you're innocent, why are you worried about what they found in your house? Drop comments below. Right, Keefe. It was a movement for that motion, a campaign for that motion. Throw out whatever they found in his house. They don't want what they found in his house to be used against him. That was a L, right? What's that? Four L's: the bail, the bail, the bail package. Come on, how many L's is that? You got the bail package, you have the 4,000 boxes, you have the evidence in his house, right? You got the book, so that's four L's already, right? The ninja been taking L's left and right, bro. He ain't had nothing granted. So hey, if this was the New York Knicks against San Antonio, he would have got swept. Drop comments below. If this, like, seriously, some people are so rude, bro. Like, 21 gun salute. So, again, is that going to be a problem with Keefe's new squad that they can't get no W's? Can't believe years. Can't believe 3 years already from a year from Noble. Oh yeah, the Young Noble anniversary is tomorrow. A year. Young Noble would have been a great character witness, but more of I don't. Again, we're not giving Reggie and Suge no more leadway. All that body double helicopter stuff. I see the body double. We seen somebody dressed up just like Pac. We see it, but when it comes to like 700K missing, the murder weapon missing, they lying about it's just too much money missing. I see a lot of people carrying on the legacy of Tupac faked his death, Tupac escaped. But I'm being realistic, y'all. Suge Knight, it was just too much money stolen. His own wife, Sharita Knight, was with them scamming ass bitches. Yeah, the young Miami remix, right? Spend that, spend that. That's right. Sharita Knight, the boss's wife, was robbing Pac. Um, it's just difficult for me to believe that you know, I would say saying Pac faked his death and escaped is giving them a way to get away with what they did September 7th. It's just too much money. Listen, I had no idea until the last few episodes on Discretion, the first season. Bro, and anybody can say that. If you've been following my channel the first season, now you on the second season, if you was following my channel, you know I didn't find out about the audit information 30 years ago, or the audit with Sharita Knight and them scheming ass bitches at Suge with the $20 million gang related check. Bro, the gang related check, Pox. movie where he was executive producer of the double album. Can I get that on the screen? Pox, where is that shit? I just seen it. I could have sworn. Oh, here we go. Anything for. Oh, that's whack, bro. Why it does that? All right. There you go. This is the wanted to check that out. There's a lot of documents that I think, if I'm not mistaken, I show proof that Suge Knight and David Kenner they diverted away where Pac's gang-related check was not going to go to Pac's bank account. Whatever David Kenner did and Suge Knight did, they mastered it. That's what I mean. They belong in jail, bro. Them Suge Knight and David Kenner, Ninja. By the time the gang-related check and the contracts, Kenner was supposed to draw up the contracts so Pac can get his payment, right? By the time that era came, they mastered the art of money laundering. Drop comments below. They 20 million. I'm trying to tell y'all, real Pac fans, stand on business. 20 million. The gang-related double album was projected to make, and it probably did. Bro, that album was straight 1999 plus tax. If you actually bought that album, I remember it was a double album, right? I remember the double album, and it was they charged $20 plus tax for that album, and it only had four Pac songs, right? It only had four Pac songs on that, so you know the fact that again the deep dive in the audit, I believe. It's just difficult for me to believe, even the gang related, which is a whole different entity, whole album, they was robbing Pac, bro. It's kind of difficult for me to believe the helicopter theory, the body double theory, it was a body double switch. It's just difficult for me to believe that when all this money um, is just gone. Yeah, can you imagine? Like, yo, when Pac did the interview on the Sway Show, right? And he was very proud. I keep talking about it. Hearing Pac talk about him being executive producer for the movie soundtracks, and this is his first time being executive producers for the movie soundtrack, and he was very proud of it. You know, for you, you know, if you were a real Pac fan, you would love to hear him in that kind of frequency. Like, yo, listen to my ninja, talk your shit, my ninja. He said, yeah, it's the first time, I'm an executive producer. And we didn't even know about the gang related double album. He was talking about the Gridlock. Drop comments below. Can you imagine Pac talking about the Gridlock soundtrack and he's getting robbed for the movie? So whatever they robbed from Pac, come on somebody, whatever they robbed from Pac for the 700K, whatever they stole from him, right, the 700K, he was probably going to use it to fund the gang-related soundtrack. Who knows, bro? Who knows, bro? So you can't. Please don't expect me to change my mind about Suge being involved. I believe he was involved. There's just too much money missing, bro. Bro, there's money missing, and I didn't even get to it for y'all yet. You hear me? There's there was transactions made on Pac's account that I didn't even start talking about it yet, y'all. I talked about Sharita Knight and them scheming ass bitches that Sharita Knight golden showers. Y'all said in the chat, Sharita golden showers. How your last name golden? Ridiculous, right? Sharita golden showers, right? It's just not Sharita, the boss's wife, paying her American Express card bill with this man. It's just not that. It's just not Death Row paying their corporate American Express card bill with Pox account. It's just not those. I've been talking about those because those are like, the ones that we need to talk about. But there was other transactions during Mama Afina Shakur's audit that she did for Pac that we found out that, whoa, you ninjas was savage. You hear me? So yeah, if you just tapping in, we was talking about Keffe D, listening to his fuzzy YouTube friends. Right? You keep trusting these YouTubers, right? And expecting whatever the ending of their YouTube videos, the happy ending in the YouTube videos, you keep trusting them and thinking that, this shit is gonna end like a YouTube video, but hey, bro, so far they're gonna hold you for the rest of your life. I don't know. They're gonna give you 25 to life if you keep on playing around with these people, Keffe D. Like seriously, you're gonna spend the rest of your life. Nah, Joseph, I can't imagine Pac when he found out. Yo, that had to break his heart. Yo, Pac was so proud to be talking about that album, bro. Bro, I wanted to hear the ending results from my ninja. When he talked about the Gridlock soundtrack and how he was gonna have other artists, when he was going to have, when he was talking about this soundtrack on the Gridlock, he was very proud, bro. There was nothing that could. That was a frequency that get all young ninjas from the ghetto. Pac talking to Sway and the way he was talking to Sway about his accomplishments on the album. All young ghetto kids, they need they need that kind of encouragement. He just got shot, robbed, thrown in jail for a crime everybody knew he ain't do. He was lied to. He was cheated while he was in jail. He started from scratch and not even know when he came out of jail they was gonna rob him. Right? So again, when you follow the bag, right, you gotta say, look, when you follow the money, I think it outweighs the fake your death theory. All right, Pac faking his death. What is that? How is that was going to help him? Pac faking his death, right? How is that going to help him in the long run? How is it going to help him? I really don't know. Escaping his enemies, I try to look at different angles. I try to be, because remember, I believe that I see the body double. I believe they could have been a possible switch. But I also believe, you know what? You can't keep giving these people an escape route. Bro, you can't keep giving these people an escape route or easy way out. You got to start holding these people accountable because, you know, it's like, it's not fair for justice. If we was trying to say, oh, we're gonna get justice and stuff, it's really not fair, right? And when I say not fair, it's impossible to talk about a ninja fake his death when they robbed him fucking blind, bro. You feel me? Like, damn, ninja, you faked your death, but you didn't even want to stay around and get your bag. I don't know. Like, it just didn't make financial sense. So it's just difficult for me to believe that theory, and for me to continue that theory, it would have to take a lot. Are y'all still here with me? Drop comments below. Get the likes up. Yeah, for me to continue that fake your death theory, for me to continue with, Pac pulling a fast one. Yo, bro, what's good, bro? Yo, hold on. Salute. Yeah, for me to continue that fake your death theory, again, it will have to be more than a friggin' body double in a helicopter when there's over. I would say, okay, let's count up the money. What Reggie said? Reggie said, count up better days, count up until the end of time, count up the greatest hits, right? So let's count up the money that was missing from Pac. You got 20 million projected from the gang related, right? You got 700K from the gridlock. Mama Fina Shakur said, listen, 17 million was missing from the All Eyes on Me royalties, right? So what we looking at? That's what, 20, 40, over $40 million. Okay? It's gonna take a lot more than a fucking body double in a helicopter for me to believe that my man's, dipped off. Over 40 million? Oh snap. Right? Okay. That's Nigel Rich Gang said didn't want to go back to jail, but they pushed the escaping narrative. Okay, even with that whole Ayanna Jackson appeal, that that would have been that would be one of the main reasons why I would think he would want to fake his death and go in the underground. That would have been number one on my list. And I do think about that, but I don't think I just don't think that's enough for me to say, nah, Suge and Kenner wanted my ninja out of here. I don't think it's enough. It's, I don't know. It's difficult for me to believe the fake his death theory over Suge Knight and Reggie Wright. So the only way, I'm just saying, you know, was Pac gonna lose his appeal? I believe so. I believe so. Kenner wasn't even focused on a fucking case, right? Kenner, David Kenner wasn't even focused on his trial. Kenner couldn't even get him off probation. Remember, they wanted Pac to do community day service. Drop collars below, right? Can we be for real? Kenner helped Snoop Dogg beat that murder charge, right? Kenner helped Snoop. Give me some thumbs up. Are we still locked in? Did I lose the frequency? Are y'all still locked in with me? Yeah, Kenner helped Snoop beat that murder rap, right? but Kenner couldn't help Pac get off community day service. That never made sense. Bro, that never made sense. Like, seriously. That never made sense. David Kenner, right, he helped Snoop beat a murder rap, but he couldn't even help Suge beat his alleged probation violation. And we now know that it was David Kenner who actually got the MGM files, right? So David Kenner, he helped Snoop beat the murder rap. We all know how he helped because Kenner had somebody steal evidence. But again, here's Pac facing community service, and Kenner couldn't even help him get off that. So I would say, just saying Pac faked his death is not holding them accountable, if that makes sense. Yeah, saying Pac faked his death, he escaped. That's not holding them accountable for all the theft and the robbery. It's not. Saying Pac pulled a fast one, faked his death, I don't think it's gonna help prove the theft, and it covers up what Suge Knight did. Remember, Suge Knight bribed this ninja the 60K exchange. That 60K exchange to this dude, it really wasn't a good move. Who was Snizzy? What's good, bro? Sleazy was good. Hold on. Who was Snizzy and Sleazy? Is this the same account? is is who is Snizzy and Sleazy Wrench Gang? Is this the same account? Oh snap! Oh, y'all still here? Did they zap me? 'Cause they be zapping live shows, bro. They've been zapping live shows. If you just tapping in, if y'all can hear me, I'm not even sure you can hear me. If you just tapping in, we're talking about Keffe D, listening to his YouTube friends, his YouTube buddies, and that's going to make him do life because them ninjas is morons. The ninjas is a bunch of goofballs. The ninjas is idiots, clowns, total clowns. They've been taking L's forever, bro. Keffe D and his YouTube friends been taking for a minute. Val, what you talking about? Val, what you talking about this live? What? You don't hear? If you just talking about, if you just tapping in, we're talking about Keffe D and his YouTube friends, man. Bro, 9 years ago when I started in this game, when I started in the league, if you was that this is how I trial and the wheelchair UG Wright Jr., if you would have told me that none of these ninjas would have been held accountable by now, I would have called you a liar. Just happening. And talking about Keffe D and his YouTube friends, and he keep listening to this YouTube shit, and he's taking a lot of L's. He's ain't none of his motions has been granted. He's been down almost 3 years, and zero motions has been granted on a part of that judge out there in Vegas. Zero. From the evidence found in his room, his house, to the book, to the 4,000 pages by Greg Bacon, nothing he asked to be exonerated has worked. Right? Again, are they trying to get a fair trial? No. Bro, this is a botched trial. When you got people like RJ Bond involved, the trial is botched, okay? When you got an itchy YouTuber that eat paint chips that sent the man to jail for 25 years to life, right? The case is botched. Del Stray, what's his name from No Game TV, Straight Lame TV? Del Gay, that ninja. He's good friends with Keefe's attorney. What? Bro, Del Rey? Oh shit. The ninja that claims he worked on death row but got no Suge Knight interviews? What? Del Gay? Oh shit. Yeah, even Del Rey is good friends with Keffe D's new attorney. And he's doing a couple of interviews. I'm like, yo, this case has been botched, and Keffe D, it seems like he's gonna have to spend the rest of his life in jail. He might as well just give up the crooked cops, bro. Yeah, straight lame TV, right? The ninja, yo, bro. That ninja just started doing POC topics about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. He wasn't even like a POC representative. He claims he was on death row. I heard Corrupt talk about him. But something happened why Suge don't respect this cat. Suge, you know what Suge told me about Del Stray, Del Gay? Right? That Del Rey was with Corrupt and Daz with them underage little girls. And Pac was mad at, it was Del Rey, Daz, Corrupt, and LT Hunting, right? Suge said that ninja LT Hunting also was with them little girls, okay? According to Suge Knight, he said, listen, Pac cut LT Hunting off and that ninja Del Rey because they was with them little girls. And Corrupt and them ninjas, they was with the little girls in the high schools, and Pac hated them ninjas for that. And Pac cut them off. So when you hear Dog Pound when Pac dead, it was more than just a Cabo incident in Mexico. It was more than that. It was just more than a Cabo incident. These are guys who were like child pedophiles, and Pac hated them ninjas. I know a lot of y'all is these ninja supporters, but I'm gonna call